If you simply label Rings of Power a bad show, you're insulting the general everyday bad shows that we've seen so many of in the entertainment industry. Rings of Power is an absolute abomination. It is a disaster. And when you factor in how much it cost to make this, nearly $700 million for the first season of Rings of Power. And when you think of the source material they had to work with, J.R.R. Tolkien, the world of Middle-earth, Lord of the Rings. This is one of the worst things that's ever been put on a TV screen. That's not an exaggeration. That's just the reality. And today we saw that once again. After an episode that ended with this, with the volcano exploding because of a sword that got put in a hole that got turned, that released some water that went miles and miles to create the explosion, to create Mount Doom. We saw this volcanic eruption, and you had a pyroclastic flow that was headed towards all the characters. Galadriel, Theon, Arondir, Elendil, Isildur, Miriel, everybody. All of those people should have been dead. So you need a really good explanation as to how they aren't dead, or maybe they're just incredibly screwed up, something like that. What did we get? Nah, everybody's fine. Galadriel's fine somehow. You know, she's got a bunch of ash on her. But despite the fact that this entire city, this entire town, I should say, not really a city, this entire town was destroyed by this flow from a volcanic eruption. Nah, Galadriel's cool. Maybe she's fireproof. Maybe that's it. Maybe elves are fireproof. Maybe it's just a Galadriel thing now. Maybe elves should never be afraid to see a Balrog again if they're just immune to fire. Maybe that's what they're saying by this. Not a scratch on Galadriel. She just got a little bit dirty. Well, there's a horse that got caught on fire that they sent through to kind of show, hey, look, at least some damage was done. What a fucking joke. But if that was the worst of this episode, they just moved on, maybe that would be one thing. But it continued to get worse. And the end of the episode, we need to talk about this because this is an embarrassment. This is the most expensive TV series ever created in history. And this is how you do this grand reveal, to tell the audience what they've known this entire time. Part of the problem with this series is that it is so low IQ and so stupid, and it appeals to the dumbest people in the world. That's why some of the stans are enjoying this, because that is one of the groups of people that it appeals to. The brain dead people with pronouns in their bios that just decide to take a dog shit character that's based on identity politics and make that their entire life. Those are the low IQ fucks that this series appeals to. Look at this. The Southlands turns into Mordor, in case you didn't know that already. But the way that it was done might be the most pathetic thing. They ask Adar, what's the name of this place?
What shall we call it instead, Lord Father?
Now you think, because the way that this has been done so often, you think that they're probably going to be like, he's just going to look up and say, Mordor. Like, that's what you think is going to happen, and that'd be stupid and predictable and cheesy, but it's kind of what everyone expected. Instead, they decided to buck that trend as everyone's chanting, Adar, Adar, Adar. What do they do? What kind of effects does the most expensive series in history have? You can see Mount Doom over there in the background, just belching out all this smoke. The Southlands. Mordor. That's it. That's how this episode ends. This is your Mordor reveal. Everyone's understood that's what it was. There's nobody that's watching this that does not understand that. And this is the pathetic reveal that you do. Is there any wonder why this is getting roasted? Is there any wonder why this is getting fucking destroyed by everybody? Maybe this is just yet another reason why the showrunners came out before this episode came out and said, hey, if you criticize this show, you're patently evil. You're an evil, racist bigot if you don't like this series. For the third time, Amazon Prime Video has tried to come out and attack the fans because they're trying to do damage control. Maybe this time it was preemptive. And in one of the most unforgivable things they've done, they confirmed something that was leaked to people. Celeborn is dead. Celeborn, Galadriel's husband, he's dead. You know, I know they haven't talked about him. I know it's been all about her brother, and she's mentioned nothing about her husband that apparently is dead, which we know won't actually be dead because they're not allowed to do something like that. So it's just going to be the old switcheroo. because everyone knows he's already alive. Lord of the Rings star Morphin Clark confirms Galadriel believes her husband Celeborn is dead. But is he? Of course he's not. Because I think I heard Nerd Cookie say this, because it's a soap opera. And that's what this is. This is a daytime soap opera. That's the quality that we're talking about. That's the type of choreography we're looking at. That's the type of costuming we're looking at. That's what we've come to expect from Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. And of course, a completely, tonally inconsistent Galadriel who, has basically been bragging about how to kill orcs, teaching people how to kill orcs, all these things. As soon as someone else says, it'd be a good thing to kill some of these orcs, what does Galadriel say? It darkens the heart to call dark deeds good. And that's the entire thing. Galadriel is sitting here. She has lectured everybody in this series in one way or another. When in reality, she never does any of that. She never lives the way that she's speaking. It's one of the frustrations that people are having with this character and with this series. Another episode where it just drug along, where people were struggling to stay awake. The dialogue is so cringe and stupid. And of course, we got to take these characters that are known for their manliness, for their toughness. Elendil the Tall, warrior, hero, all these things. What do we do with Elendil? Well, we'll make him sniffle. We'll make him sniffle as he holds back tears. Very stunning and brave from Amazon. Very stunning and brave, but this is what we've come to expect. That's why this show's been a disaster. That's why they're trying to spin everything they can. That's why House of the Dragon, again, with the ratings that came out yesterday, House of the Dragon once again destroying it when you factor in people that are watching on HBO as well as streaming. More bad news for the biggest flop that we've ever seen on television. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.